to another edition of Spot Me Training. Today we are going to be working the hinge and kick. Not a lot of equipment necessary, but you might need a balance today. So I recommend grabbing something to assist you with balancing, whether it's a Swiffer, a chair, whatever you might have available to you. And also we're going to be doing a little bit of weighted work today. So I have my handy dandy weighted bag right here, and it's going to be a deadlifting motion. So for those of you who might be a little strong on the deadlift, you might want a heavy weight today. But yeah, the workout in detail is right here. Getting better at that. Warm-ups at the top, primary motions in the middle, and then we've got a cool down at the bottom, but I'll go over that with you when we get there. For the warm-up, we're going to be doing a high knee and hug, followed by a butt kick, and then an alternating toe touch and a scissor kick. Warm up our glutes, our hips, quadriceps, our knees. There's a lot of balancing work today, so definitely take those high knee and hugs and those butt kicks really slow so you can warm up your stabilizers. And then for the primary workout, we're going to be doing a single leg hinge and kick. And I'll go over some of the ambiances of that later on, but that's going to be our big ballistic workout. That'll get a lot of your fast twitch muscles going, particularly working the power out of the hamstring and the range of motion out of the hamstring at the same time. And then standard single leg hinges, nothing too crazy there. And the Romanian deadlift, like I mentioned before, which you'll want to wait for. Something decently heavy, but yeah, nothing too crazy. Obviously, we don't design this for barbells. We design it for what you've got around at home. So anyhow, going on to the warm-up. Starting off with that high knee and hug, you're going to bring that knee up into your chest, give it a little squeeze, stretching out the glutes and the lower back and warming up the hips and the stabilizers. Pretty simple motion, nothing too crazy there. After that, you're going to be doing a butt kick. I want you to reach your arms up over your head, draw your core in to create extension out of the abdomen, glutes tight to create extension out of the hips. Bend the knee, kick your butt, keep that knee pointing straight down. That way you're focusing all of the stretch on the front of your leg and warming up that hamstring, that bicep femoris, sky back here a little bit. That way they don't get too strained during the workout itself. After that, you're going to be doing an alternating toe touch. You're going to get a nice wide base going, toes pointing straight ahead, slight bend in the knee, core brace, chest upright. You're going to reach down opposite hand to opposite foot. But when you're reaching down, I don't want you to round your back. I want you to keep your chest upright. You can keep a bend in that knee. That way you're pulling on the hamstring in between the glute and the knee, all the muscle tissue on the back of the thigh, and alternating. Opposite hand, opposite foot, back and forth. Pretty simple, nothing too crazy motion there. Last is going to be a scissor kick. I'm going to take a lay down on the floor, place your hands at your lower back, and you can do this with your legs straight or your legs bent if you have big heavy legs like me. And you'll just basically make a split, bring it together, or if you're doing legs straight, split, together, warming up those hip flexors in that lateral range of motion. So, it'll be 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. Let me throw my phone out of the way. Hopefully it doesn't go off. So, warm-ups, not too tough. We just want to take it nice and easy, get your heart rate going to a working heart rate. Not to the point where you're exhausted.
Exercise.
Save that for later. Save that for the kicks. Let's go. Get a nice little squeeze out of those high knees and hugs, stretching out the glute and the lower back, warming up the stabilizers. Steady motion. If y'all haven't met, this is my mascot, my co-anchor, Poppy. She hangs out during the workout on my little patio. Just a little home video that I do, show y'all you can do it anywhere.
Rest.
Whether you're trying to do strength training, endurance training, aerobic training. In this case, we're going for some ballistic strength with those hinges to front kicks, single leg hinge to front kick. Next is going to be the butt kick. Core brace, arms up over
Exercise.
the head. Glutes tight, kick your butt, heel up into the butt. If you're a dancer and you want to get a little bit more hip extension, you're more than welcome to Kick that leg back a little bit, but try to avoid hyperextending in the back. That's why I don't really go for that big scorpion tail on this one. Just make sure to keep that glute tight. Ooh, already feeling a few little pops. Nothing too big, but definitely some decompression going on for me, which is nice. That's what we're going for. Steady work. Nothing crazy. Nothing big. Good.
Rest.
Going for those alternating toe touches next. We're going to get a wide base going. Not a huge split, but just enough that you can isolate the legs. Slight bend in the knees. Make sure to keep your core brace, chest upright, and back flat.
Exercise.
As you reach opposite arm to opposite toe. A little more muscle recruiting in this one. That's what we're going for. That first workout should have been pretty easy. Second workout too. Third workout, this alternating toe touch might be a little tough. Not tough, but tougher. Then we're going to that scissor kick last, and that's the real tough part of the warm-up. Smooth and steady. Targeting that back of the hamstring, back of the thigh, in between your knee and your butt. Right here, stretching that out. Get one.
Rest.
All right, last is the scissor kick. Again, these are supposed to be the toughest part. If you decide you want to bend the knee, I probably will.
2.
Because I have big, heavy legs.
Exercise.
And I'm not trying to wear myself out this early. Just a split and bring it together. Make sure to keep your pelvic floor nice and braced. Right in between those two hip flexors is where your pelvic floor is. All of that, keep it tight. Keep that back supported. Your hand will certainly protect your back, and keeping the pelvic floor braced will prepare you for any intent that you might have on this workout without hands. Almost done.
2. Rest.
Right. That's round 1 of 3 for the warm-up. Going back to the start with the high knee and hug. Maybe you're breathing a little bit. That's ideal. Maybe not a lot.
2.
That's good too.
Exercise.
Don't want to be worn out quite yet. But definitely don't skip on the warm-up. Might seem like, oh, I want to just get to the hard part of the workout. But if you're working out consistently, you never know what's sore on you. That's where the warm-up comes in. That way you can warm up those muscles that might be stiff. You might not notice they're stiff. Got some new shoes on. Whoa! Typically team no shoe, but today I wanted to break these suckers in. These little Reebok cross trainers.
2. Rest.
All right, next up is going to be that butt kick. Core brace, glutes tight. Arms up over the head. Kick your butt.
2.
Knees pointing straight down.
Exercise.
If you want to add a bounce into it, you're more than welcome to, especially on this second round. I'm going to keep it steady though. I'm not very bouncy. 20 seconds. Oh. Going for that big extension. Feels good. 10 seconds. 5, 4.
2.
Right.
Rest.
Alternating toe touch. You're going to keep that chest upright. Core brace, tailbone lifted, back flat. Get a slight bend in the knees. That way you're stretching out the back of your thigh, not the back of your knee.
Exercise.
Keep your back flat. That way you're stretching out the back of your thigh and not your back. Again, you might notice your heart rate elevating. Not a lot, but certainly elevating a bit. Oh, there's a fire going on somewhere. Perks of live TV. I should say a single take. Keep it steady, 10 seconds. Good.
Rest.
Moving on to scissor kicks. Remember, you can get a slight bend in the knees if you want to reduce the leverage point.
2.
Get a little bit easier on yourself.
Exercise.
Big split and collapse. Breathing steady. Excuse me, Poppy, I'm working here. What are you doing? I'm checking out the weather. That's my co-anchor for you. I'm going to go ahead and bend the knees for the remainder. Split and collapse. "15 seconds. Might notice your heart rate elevating, not a lot, but enough that you're feeling toasty, you're feeling warm, feeling those hips getting worked. Keep that
2.
pelvic floor tight.
Rest.
Strong. Last round for warm up, and then we get to good stuff. Whew.
2.
Not exhausted by any means.
Exercise.
but those certainly aren't the easiest part of the warm up. Ooh. Going to be using those hips big time here in a moment. Stretching out those hamstrings, using those hamstrings as our big primary ballistic mover. 15 seconds. If you want to get those high kicks going, you'll want warm hips, that's for sure. You'll want loose hamstrings and glutes, that's for sure.
2. Rest.
Next is that butt kick. Arms up, over the head, core braced, knees going straight down.
2.
Another time rising.
Exercise.
Feel free to push yourself on the time, push yourself on the effort. Again, you can bounce into this, getting some nice little hops for those butt kicks. If you're a cardio bunny, or if you're a big boulder like myself, your inertial input is straight down. And just stay right where you are. Keep going for those steady butt kicks. We're not trying to huff and puff quite yet. Save that for the primary workout.
Two.
All right.
Rest.
Alternating toe touch. Nice wide base. Toes pointed straight ahead. Slight bend in the knees. Back flat. That way you can put all the tension of the stretch
2.
to your hamstrings, the back of your thigh,
Exercise.
in your butt, in your knee. Last chance to push that range of motion before we get into those high kicks, those front kicks. And you don't really have to touch those toes. It's more of a suggestion of direction. Rather you keep your back flat. That way you keep solid form for the stretch. Put that tension inside of the hamstring rather than putting it inside of your back or the back of the knee for that matter if you're locking out the knees. Instead, focus on your intent of the motion, and in this case the intent of the motion, stretching out the hamstrings.
2. Rest.
All right, one more scissor kick and we'll get on to the good stuff. Hands at the lower back. That way you're lifting that tailbone up, but still keep your pelvic floor braced.
2. Exercise.
It's good to not get that back involved in these core motions. little bit of a small space. I'm brushing up with my bag. That's okay. I'm working these small spaces. Almost done.
2. Rest.
Anywhere you like, you can work out. Okay, so moving on to the primary motions. We have single leg hinge with a front kick or a high knee. If you're, a little limited on range of motion, definitely try that front kick though, even if it's a low kick. But we don't want to, go into these ballistic motions with a pulled hamstring. That's for sure. I am huffing and puffing just a little bit. But yeah, it is a high range of motion workout. We don't want to risk pulling anything that we'll need to use throughout the day. So if you do have a hamstring injury in the past, or if you're just prone to tension there, you can always go for the high knee, and that's more inside of the glute. Oh, here we go. After you're done with that, you're going to go for a standard single leg hinge, just kicking that leg back and then coming to a full stand. Should be a pretty simple motion. Then you're going to have a minute of a Romanian deadlift weighted. It's a hinging motion, and I recommend going with a heavier weight. When it comes to the hinge, the deadlift, I guarantee most of us are going to be capable of 50 pounds or more worth of deadlifting weight, but it's more of a matter of keeping form and technique. That tends to be the challenge on the deadlift. So if you have 15 pounds, 20 pounds, and you're a little apprehensive to use it for most exercises, this is the exercise to use it for. Or if you have a bag, fill it with rocks, books, something on the heavier side. All right, so starting off with that single leg hinge to front kick. And the single leg hinge we're going to be using for the first 30 seconds and the second 30 seconds. Let me put that back on screen. Here we go. So the first 30 seconds we're single leg hinging into a front kick, and I'll go over that here in a second. But pay attention for the second 30 seconds, because we are doing a single leg hinge again. And just, make sure to follow through with these steps and these cues. So a hinge itself is just pushing the hips back and pushing the hips forward. A lot of people think of leg motions and they think of the squat, they think of moving up and down. In the case of the hinge, it's more of a hips back, hips forward momentum kind of thing. So with a single leg hinge, as you might imagine, you're going to be bracing into one leg. The predominance of your weight is going to be in your heel. There's going to be a little bit of weight in the big toe, a little bit of weight in the pinky toe. The other leg, you're going to kick back. You want to make sure that that leg is still in alignment though. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself having trouble surfing your center of gravity. So this back leg, keep the pelvic floor tight, keep the knee pointed straight down, keep the toe pointed straight down. So I'm working with my right leg, the leg that's closest to the camera. I'm putting my weight into my heel as I kick this leg back, and I'm extending my chest forward. Okay, that's the hinge motion right there. That's single leg hinge. Okay, so we're going to follow through with a front kick. Yeah. Get a little bit of a forward approach for it. So for the front kick, you still want to maintain alignment. If you start kicking out to the side or inside, once again, you're going to throw off your center of gravity, and you're going to find yourself surfing a little bit. And whenever you're doing a kick, if you've ever seen any of my other videos, you'll always start with the knee. And the reason behind that, if you want to get a strong kick going, you're going to have a lot more leverage if you're kicking with a straight leg. So it's not going to have as much ballistic support. So you want to start with that knee and then extend. That way it's got a little bit more snap, like cracking a whip. Okay? So, in full, I'm going to hinge into my leg, putting my weight into my heel, kicking the other leg back. Take that motion slow on the way back. Once you feel you've reached that high range of motion, I want you to create a little bit more ballistic and really bring that leg forward into the knee and then snap. Knee and snap. Knee and snap. Knee and snap. Okay? It's a high range of motion workout, so you're going to feel on that snap especially a lot of extension out of the hamstrings. Okay, so take it slow on the first set. Make sure you're doing it with good technique and form, and that you know where your range of motion is, because again, don't want to cause any pulls or anything like that. Second motion, just a single leg hinge. No knee, no snap, no front kick. Pretty simple. Again, you need to rewind. We went over that single leg hinge in the first part. Third motion is going to be the Romanian deadlift. So you've got two grips available. You can do it just a dead hang grip, and it's just the hinge. Slight bend in the knee, put your weight in your heel, and you're going to use both legs on this one. Push your hips back and forward. Now, if you're using something that has a little bit of a dangle to it, you can do a Zerker grip, where you just bring that up to your chest, under your armpits, or not your armpits, your elbow pits. Give it a squeeze through the biceps, and that's going to open up my range of motion. Pretty simple. So, we're going to start off with that single leg hinge to front kick. We're going to be moving our left leg first for the kick. Here we go. Remember, knee and snap. Maintain that alignment. You want to keep the toe pointed down at the back, up at the front. And again, don't push your range of motion quite yet. Save it for a little later. If you feel comfortable doing it without the Swiffer, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to keep it steady for this first set at least. All right, just a standard single leg hinge now for the next 30 seconds. Still bracing on that same leg. I'm working my right leg. Was kicking with my left. Second set, I'll change sides. 10 more seconds and we're going on to that Romanian deadlift. All right, grab my weight. And since I have this goofy backpack, I'm gonna go for the Zerker. That way I'm not limiting myself on range of motion. Chest upright, core braced, tailbone lifted. Press the hips back, slight bend in the knee, thrust the hips forward. Weight's going to be balanced in the heels. You can see my toes are barely touching the ground. And you want to avoid a squat. So don't think about those hips traveling down at all. Instead, think about them traveling backwards. Don't think about working the top of your leg. Think about working the back of your leg and your glutes. Almost done. Tailbone lifted, back upright, chest lifted, core braced. Nothing too hard. Certainly getting my heart rate up there just a smidge. The bigger the ballistics on that kick, more that heart rate's going to travel. That's really your big opportunity to get your heart rate up there. Little rest period, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Bring that heart rate back down to where we finished our warm-up. Should be about 130, depending on age and conditioning. 110 if you're a little older or unconditioned. 140 if you're a little younger or very conditioned. 90, 65% of your max. If you need a little bit more guidance, shoot me a line, let me know. There's links and emails. And I'm a personal trainer, and I've been doing this a long time, 7 years worth of experience, all body types, including my own, which hasn't always been the most athletic, but I've certainly worked my way into a form of athleticism. But enough about me. I want to hear about you. Message me, comment, let me know what you think of this workout. All right, going for that single leg hinge front kick. Left leg's going to stay planted, right leg's going to kick back. And move a little forward so I'm not kicking my door. Knee and snap. Certainly a little tougher to balance on this side for me. I'm going to feel it out. So that way I can knock this out without my Swiffer on the next set. One more. All right. Single leg hinge. Heart rate's going a little bit. That's good. Texas allergies are growing a little bit. All right, going on to that Romanian deadlift. I'm going to go for that Zerker grip again. Depending on what you're working with, you might do the same, or you might let it hang. If you have a dumbbell, that's always good. There's no range of motion necessary past your toes. If you're picking up something and it's below your toes, then squat into it. Certainly don't hinge into it. Nice, steady breathing. And again, just push those hips back and forward with a natural strain in the knee. That means not locking out and also not bending. Tailbone's lifted, core is braced, chest is upright. That's round one. 2 more rounds and we're done. Oof, my hamstrings are certainly waking up. No Swiffer this time. We're gonna do it freestanding. I did get some questions about these kicks and like application of it. You certainly don't want to wind up to the point where you're doing a single leg hinge for a front kick, but it is a full range of motion exercise that we're practicing, not as much a ballistic power. But for a standard front kick, you're going to usually start with a step back. This leg is posturing, this leg's kicking, and it's like a limited range of motion on that single leg hinge, but still the exact same muscle chain. So this is a good way to build up that height of your front kick. We're not just looking for the ballistic aspect of it, we're also looking to get you kicking them in the chin or the sternum or the groin. Even if you're going for the groin, having a lot of height on your kick will definitely help. You'd be surprised. Not that you'll lift them up that high, but just means you'll have more snap in your kick. All right, I'm going freestanding for this one. I'm loose, I'm limber, I'm warmed up. Core brace, chest upright. Slight bend in the knee, weight in the heel, a little bit in the big toe, the little toe. And we'll follow through with the knee and extend. If you need a reset in between reps, you're more than welcome to. Big kick this time, big kick. Maybe not. Let's try that again. It's the shoes, the new shoes, that's what it is. Gotta watch where I'm putting my weight. There we go, that's much better. That last one was it. That's probably gonna be my best kick of the day on that leg. This third set, you'll be exhausted. The second set is your best chance to see how high and steady you can get that kick. And you'll feel the difference. If you're wavering side to side, that means you're transferring energy side to side on your contact point. And that's a less effective kick. If your range of motion is limiting you from maintaining your balance, then you're not going to be able to build as much acceleration. So that's going to limit the power of your kick. You'll feel it though. Just feel it. Does that feel good? Does that feel bad? That's a good kick if it feels good. Always trust what your head says, that's for sure. Well, sometimes. My mind's telling me no, but my body My body's telling me, yeah. 15 seconds. Ooh, those hamstrings are singing. Oh, good stuff. All right. Going back to those front kicks on the right side. Take a little breather. And yeah, when it comes to throwing a strong kick or throwing a strong punch, you know, strength is obviously one part of it. But if you're stiff, then you're going to be about as strong as a steel beam is. When making contact though, and you're trying to swing a steel beam, it's not going to be able to build up as much momentum. Versus having a range of motion and flexibility like a whip will allow you to get a lot more of an attack and a lot more of an impact on contact. So, you know, strength is part of it, so is speed. And when you have more range of motion, you have more time to build up speed, more time to use that strength and accelerate your kick. So keep an eye on this motion with your head. Check out your range. See if you're pushing yourself to a big range of motion, getting a nice big windup. And that'll be one aspect of how powerful your kick is. The other is going to be the form, the technique of it. Bring the knee up and snap at the right time, and also maintain your balance. And you'll keep that energy transferred directly into the chin or into the chest. It's part of the reason why working with that Swiffer, that was a good one, certainly helps with the warm-up. That way you can feel out what that motion should feel like. I'm going to focus. There we go. One more. Maybe not. I'm going to give myself one more. I'll go into your single leg hinges if you're ready. I think the last set I'll go with my Swiffer. That way I can push my range of motion. I'm just feeling stiff today. I don't know if y'all have done the jumping workout. What's it called? Ballistic mobility. If y'all haven't done ballistic mobility, check it out. It's really good for this kind of motion too, except you're using both legs at the same time. So in terms of aerobics, it's much tougher. It's got my feet and my hamstrings a little tight, but that's okay. That's what we're here for today, building up that mobility, one leg at a time. That ballistic bay, though, much bigger into the anterior chain of your legs, your quadriceps and your calves. This one's much bigger into the posterior chain, that hamstring, that glute. Almost done though. I don't know about you, but the back of my thigh is definitely feeling it. Definitely. Good stuff. One more round. Certainly not beat, but you got a different opinion for me, Poppy? She's got a different opinion. But yeah, aerobically, this isn't as tough as some of the other days, but certainly is isolatedly tough on my hamstring. And it's building up a very different kind of strength than, say, a deadlift or a Romanian deadlift, standard weightlifting, or those stupid hamstring machines with the hamstring curl. I hate those. It's building up a active range of motion, something that's applicable to not only front kicks, but also running, walking, climbing, building up the range of motion out of that hamstring and how much power you can put into your sprint or your climb. how much ballistic power too. Your brain's ability to send electrical waves and contractions down to that hamstring, all that good stuff. All right, I'm super mobilized because this is the third set, but I'm tired and off balance, so I'm going to use my Swiffer. I'm going to go for big, big, big motions on this next set. Get a big knee and a big extension. Kicking my door. Knee first, Josh. There we go. Good stuff. Lots and lots and lots of reps on this one because I'm good for it. I've got my stabilizer to help me out right here. Swiffer is a great stabilizer and a great tool for cleaning. Swiffer, sponsor me if you're watching this video. Oh, Romanian deadlift. That's a lot of reps. I really killed my right leg. That's good though. Tailbone lifted, chest upright, core braced, weighing the hamstrings, tension in the hamstrings, the back of the thigh, not the back. Seconds. Oh, my right leg. And turn off the phone real quick. Put it on silent. Oh, that right leg. Oh, that right leg. Did I mention that my right leg's tired? Okay. Got some kicks out of this left leg. We'll be all done. Or no, I've got some kicks out of my right leg and then we're all done. Right leg's building all the momentum. I forgot that was the one that was planted. It was my left leg that was kicking, which is why it feels fine. Backwards is a good way to describe cognition of the body. I hate the posterior or anterior concept being the only two. Most of your motions are going to be twisted, but yeah, if you want a little bit more of a thought process behind that, shoot me a line, send me an email. You'll feel it for sure on these, because one of these legs is going to be stronger at scooping. One of them is going to be better in extending, which means one of these motions on your right side or your left side is going to be dominant, and you'll notice the range of motion on it too. All right, last set. Hinge, knee, front kick. Make sure you're clear of your door. Single leg hinge. Lots of reps. Last set. Everything you got left, use it. I spend my left leg as much as my right leg was spent. Last set, Romanian deadlifts. Finish strong. Tailbone lifted, chest upright, back flat. Focus on tension in the back of the thigh and the glute. Hamstring. Put the weight in the heels. That center of gravity in the heels. Tension in the heels. Oh gosh. Almost done. Good job. If you're not feeling it in your hamstrings, I don't know what you did. Okay. I'm gonna breathe a little bit. Last part of the workout, my favorite. Cool down and stretch. We're gonna start off in a split. If you're ready to hop into that split, go for it. I'm gonna take a little breather. More. Move this out of the way. Pop these toys. Yeah, I'm talking about you. She's over there behind the timer. Decently wide split, nothing crazy, just comfortable. Take a moment to relax your breathing. If you need to pause it, you're more than welcome to. I'm good to go. We're going to start off by doing an oblique hinge or a triangle into a split. What I want you to do is open up your chest first on this hand, your right, my left. Reach over and across. Grab onto that left toe, pull it in towards you. Lift your right shoulder, press your right hip down. Point your left toe towards you and back. Take some deep breaths. Keep lifting that shoulder up. Don't start reaching to the point where you bend over. And twist out of that stretch. Avoid that twist out of the stretch. Good. Let's go out to the other side. Open up that left chest. Reach over and across with the left chest, keeping that shoulder lifted. Grab onto your right foot. Your right hand, pull the right toe in and back. Press your left hip down. Lift your left shoulder up. Take some deep breaths. Poppy, you tired? She didn't even do anything in this workout's tiring for her. Next we're going to go for that split hinge. Chest upright, core brace, crawl your hands out in front of you and press your tailbone towards the back wall. Press your tailbone into the floor. You don't want to round out your back. Lift that tailbone, lift those shoulders, keep the back flat, take some deep breaths. Oh, point the toes in, both of them. I'm gonna take a few more deep breaths. I feel myself opening, so I'm gonna take advantage of it. Gross, Poppy. Why are you licking that? All right. All right, Pop. You gotta move. Go on. Go, go, go. Go. We're gonna take a lay down flat on our back. You're gonna start by kicking your right leg straight up into the air and across your body. Once you have it across, I want you to start extending that right leg out and pointing the toe towards you. And then your bottom leg, your left leg, I want you to extend it out underneath you. Your right shoulder, push it into the floor. Take some deep breaths, bracing your core. We're extending out the side of that thigh, the side of the hip, the IT band. The outside of the hamstring, the outside of the knee. Good. Send it on over to the other side. You'll lift that left leg straight up into the air, kick it across. Once you feel it's as far around as it's going to get, extend that leg out, extend that left leg out. Point the toe towards your face, and then the right foot, wants you to extend it straight down. Press that left shoulder into the floor. Core braced, breathe deep. Ooh, this IT band's tight. I'm going to take a few more breaths here. If you're enjoying a stretch, go ahead and stick with it for a while. Some people ask me, how often should I stretch? My answer is always more. Good. So there's definitely not enough time in the day for enough stretches. Oh. All right, take a sit up. Oh, excuse me, Poppy. Extend your legs out in front of you, hip distance apart. Point your toes up towards your face. Place your hands behind your back and start off with a flat back, pushing your tailbone into the floor and your chest upright. If you have tight hamstrings like me, this might be enough stretch for you. If you have loose hamstrings, you can start leaning forward into it. Keep pushing that tailbone down, keep that chest upright. If you're capable of reaching your arms out in front of you without rounding your back, it's a key thing. Without rounding your back, you can start reaching towards your toes. But most of us need to keep our hands down to keep that chest lifted, because we spend enough time of our day sitting down, and we're like this during a good proper hamstring stretch. Take some deep breaths into your hips. Feel the back of the thigh release. There. Now it's starting to loosen up for me. There we go. Tailbone pressing down, chest upright, back flat. Toes pointing up towards you. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. That's it. Thank you all for joining me today. As ever, please leave a comment. Let me know you did this workout. That way I know I'm not just preaching to a choir. Or if you have any questions about this workout and you just want to powwow with me, if you feel like you failed, or if you feel like you succeeded and you want a little bit tougher or easier of a workout, let me know. Shoot me a line. There's always a regression and progression available for all of this. And if you haven't found it, then you're not challenging yourself. You're just going through the motions. If you're not sweating and your hamstrings aren't singing, then shoot me a line. You definitely need a little bit of direction on how to work with your body. And you don't need weight. Look at today's workout. We used a backpack. And you can certainly get enough of a workout out of a backpack full of books. But yeah, links down here. Email joshua.james.caceres at gmail.com, spottraining@outlook.com, or if you want to check out the website for more workouts or get some insight for the group training, it's only $40 a month, or personal training, it's only $50 an hour. It's all digital, it's all from home, and it's all teaching you to do more anywhere with whatever you've got at home. spotmetraining.com. All right, again, my name's Joshua Caceres, your personal trainer today. Thanks for joining me on the internet. I'll see you on the next video. I got to figure out a sign out for this thing. Y'all take care.